Welcome back to the channel. Brett Sullivan here, and well, this video is being filmed on the 5th anniversary of when the world lost Mr. Eddie Van Halen. But the message that I always got from Eddie was to keep the music going, and as an innovator and somebody always pressing forward with tone and music and time, we're going to press forward. If you've been following my channel, you've been seeing my Tonex videos, the 78, 79, 81, 82, and of course 82, 84 eras, all have a different take on that Van Halen tone. Comments in my videos, and some of my videos actually talked about there are fans out there of the Live Without a Net era. Now, why am I saying Live Without a Net era? Because even though that was the Van Halen live tour after the 50 released, I think Live Without a Net being the first official Van Halen concert footage exposed the whole world to a set of new fans and new ears. Now, the diehard fans that are 78, tone all the way, surprisingly, will enjoy some of the facts I'm going to talk about in this video. So stick around and we'll talk about what became of the 78, 79 tone that we hear on 5150 and the Live Without a Net tour video concert footage. For my interpretation, what I did is I took the 78, 79 package. For those of you who haven't purchased or own all three packs, if you bought this one, we can go back and simply recreate the 51 setting like this. We're going to put on screen what I did. I have the 78, 79 Brown Sound pack installed, and you're going to see on my screen here that with all the programs here, I'm still using Feeling Loved preset. And I re-enabled it 5150 Live Without a Net. It's the Feeling Love preset. We're gonna alter some of the EQs here. We got the EQs brighter. However, on the recording with Live Without a Net from the opening signal, the tone sounds dull to me, or it sounds like it's compressed so much, or something happened to it in the mix where it's lost that brightness. So while we're not necessarily trying to make a preset that is not as bright, have to keep in mind that the production of the Live Without a Net video actually, I'm kind of fond of it, to be honest with you. There's something beautiful and full and warm about it. I guess it's a testament to the era where they used, the 80s was wet. 1986, Sammy Hagar, pop singer, rock singer, joins Van Halen, becomes even more pop. So while it sounds dull to me in my ears and my monitors, we still have a nice little fizz in there. Well, I am affiliated with IK Multimedia, and while I'm not being paid to do these videos, I've been given product. So it really is a paid advertisement endorsement. But I don't endorse anything that I can't use live, and I use this as my tribute band, my 80s band. So there's my settings. Delay, you can see I'm using the ping pong delay. Here's the time, 250, mix is 25, feedback 0. Reverb, quite a bit of reverb. Pre-delay is really high. Mix is at 9 o'clock here. Time is 3.50. There's a lot of delay coming in there. They use this opening note out of the gate that you heard with all this delay on it, and chorus and pitch shift and everything. So here's what that is. It's the same setting, but now we've changed the effects to sound like this. Which is also a similar setting they use on Get Up. Really a lot of delay there and a lot of pitch. So looking at my settings, same amp settings, same cab settings, modulation is now 11 o'clock, depth 3 o'clock, rate about 10, delay. But it is one of the settings that Eddie Van Halen had available on his, and he used this setting at the beginning, opening note, and he used it later in the tune to do that outro solo, which, instead of playing a bunch of notes, he did something very effective to tune, to the outro of the tune for building tension. We have to do this manually on my screen and my mouse, but if you had this built into your Tonex, or if you had the Tonex, you could save these settings. So my delay here, our reverb, just a little above 9 o'clock, between 9 and 10. Pre-delay is about 2, time 350. That was reverb, delay, ping pong, mix 3 o'clock, feedback here, time here. Sorry I'm going so fast, but this is settings you can alter yourself, guys, and save. We're just trying to get you in the zone. And yeah, for those of you who are following my page, we're trying to move ahead and create our own presets, or at least be inspired to create tones outside of the 78 through 84 era. Live Without a Net was released in 1986. The band had undergone a frontman change. We have Sammy Hagar in the band now, not David Lee Roth. The writing style had changed a little bit, but Van Halen's signature tone didn't change all that much, or did it? To my ears, the signature tone, and I know for a fact, was still Eddie's Marshall. This Marshall had undergone an upgrade. Well, the amp itself hadn't undergone an upgrade, but the whole Van Halen rig had undergone an upgrade by a company known as Custom Audio Electronics, or back then, Bradshaw. Bradshaw took pedals and rack gear and consolidated it, made it into a simple switching system, which 30 years ago would be today's Axe Effects, if you will, or Kemper or Quad Cortex. Basically, all your sounds and tones are under a few pedals so that you can switch quickly and seamlessly. There's a lot of history there. In fact, I even unearthed the Guitar Player magazine from 1988 that talks about this. This is May 1988 in particular, and here is the article. Bradshaw there with a young Lukather and Peter Frampton. And then, wow, here's the page that talks about Eddie Van Halen's rig. So, woo, break hard real quick, sudden stop. We're gonna put this on the screen in a minute. Sorry about the crude example here, but Eddie Van Halen's rig, all of a sudden he's got a Rocktron compressor, he's got some switching, he's got a Lexicon PCM70, a couple of Eventide 949 harmonizers, 2 Roland SDE 3000s, a Rocktron Hush unit, a Rain mixer, an HH power amp, speaker look. Okay, there's a lot of stuff in the chain, guys and girls. That means it has to change something. There's no way you can plug all that stuff in and not have an altered sound. Here's what my ear interprets from listening to the live concert footage of the 5150 Live Without a Net. What I hear with all that rack gear and signal alteration is I hear Eddie Van Halen's distinct Marshall tone. I'm hearing, yes, to my ears, I'm hearing some of those compressors or production techniques that were used in recording and filming the video affecting the tone. The tone sounds slightly compressed to me, not in a bad way, just in a different way. At this point, it sounds to me like the Variac is still in use, and there's no actual history on this. I think the Variac was still in use, but with all that rack gear and processing, that was now creating some of the not only ambient effects, the delay and pitch and reverb, but some of the sustain effect. Sounds different than just a Marshall Plexi with the potentiometer on the guitar turned down. It sounds like to me like there's a little compression going on, because it sounds like the tone is even from the time he turns down to turns up. I appreciate when you guys subscribe. It always helps the channel out. Don't forget I have affiliate links. Click below if you want to purchase the IK Multimedia Brown Sound 7879, 8182, or 82 through 84. And always appreciate the feedback. Thanks, guys. I keep making the videos for you. Rock on. Brad Sullivan out.